Let me guess, you have tried everything to stop your dog from pulling on leash, and at this point, it's getting pretty annoying. Let me give you one simple tip. Stop walking your dog. People see us having a lot of success in the videos with the dogs that we use. And often I see in the comments people saying things like, oh, why don't you try that with my wild and crazy dog? But the truth of the matter is, I wouldn't walk any wild and crazy dog. So here's my secret. I need to get one very specific win first. I'm Kayl McCann. Welcome back to McCann Dogs. Okay, so we'll talk to camera here about the pulling. We are getting a little bit of pulling here, which we are going to work through. And one thing I'm noticing about him is that when he feels tension on the leash, he has no problem just
right,
like the average dog.
Yeah.
Even though it's probably very uncomfortable and not fun.
Yes, no.
He is a normal dog. A lot of dogs will just really want to like smell and like investigate things, and that to them is like more exciting. He's prepared to choke himself in the process. So
Right.
These are all things that we're gonna work on today.
Okay.
So very first thing that we're going to do is just let's call him back away from the door and just see if you can get him to get in and sit at your side. Good.
Up.
Good boy.
Get in.
Tell him, get in.
Up. Get in.
It's okay.
Get in.
Yes, good boy. I think he's actually not sure about whether he should go off the carpet or not. Good
There,
boy.
good boy.
Good.
Yes.
Okay. So you're just going to reward him. I'm going to open the door.
Good boy.
Yes, good.
boy.
Now what you're going to do is just put your food away and place him back at your side.
Yeah.
Good. Get in and sit.
Get in.
Good. And then loosen the leash and give him a
boy.
choice to go or stay.
Yes.
Good.
Good
Okay. And I
boy.
want you to delay your food just a little longer because you
sure.
rewarded really quickly, which is good, except he may have thought that the reward was for the sit
Correction.
back. Yeah. So what you want to do is sit him, put the slack in the leash, and just like wait for a second and figure out what he's going to do, because he's going to do two things. He's either going to choose to get up again, which is possible, or he's just going to like settle in for a second, and then that's the thing that you want to reward for.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to open up.
Okay.
We just said okay. So technically he's correct. Get
Get
in
in.
and sit.
Get in.
Good
Sit.
boy. Okay, keep the leash
Good.
loose.
Yeah.
And just remind him to sit as I open it. Sit. Yes, reward.
Sit.
Oops. Okay, don't reward now.
Sit.
Okay, let's not reward quite there because he did
Yes.
get up. Good.
Good.
Technically, if he did that, I would prefer you to
Yes.
place him back. Okay, now reward.
Yes. Good boy.
Good.
Yes.
And close the door again. What I would like for him to do is
Yes.
not get up in the first place.
Okay.
Good boy. Okay, talk to him
Yes.
again.
Good
Sit.
boy.
Good.
Sit. Yes.
So place him back. Good.
Yeah. Is
Yep.
that good?
Yep. Follow
Yeah.
through. I liked your instincts. Be picky.
Okay.
If you have him in a spot,
Yes.
then no, don't feed
No,
right.
right.
Good
Yes.
girl. Good. Yes. Now, yes, and
Good.
reward.
Yes. Good boy.
Excellent. So why I'm having you do that is for timing, but also I want him to think about working a little harder to get a reward.
Okay.
Feeding is great. I'm all about positive reinforcement, but sometimes what happens is when we use food, one of the criticisms people say about using food is people are like, oh, we just have to use food all the time. But that's because people are using it too fast. So the dogs don't really actually have to do a lot to get the food
Right.
because it just is handed out so readily.
Right.
So I want us to use it, but I want it to really hold a lot of value when we use it.
Yeah.
So this time if he gets up, even if he moves a muscle, we're going to place him back. Let's let him settle for a second, and
Yep.
then we're going to reward. Sit. Yes. Feed.
Yes.
Good. We're just going to do a little halfway point here. Good.
Yes.
Sit.
You sit.
Sit.
Yes.
Sit. Reward again. Yeah.
Yes.
There.
Yes.
Good boy.
Yes.
Good. Now I'm going to close the door, and then your rewarding is going to stop, because I want the door open and sitting to be like his favorite part. So if I
Okay.
close the door and I keep rewarding,
Gotcha.
it's good, but we want like the door open to be like, ooh, this is the part where I connect with mom. Okay, one of the things that made that successful is our little halfway treat there. So you see how we rewarded initially with the door opening a little bit before
Right.
going all the way?
Yeah.
That is a very, very helpful dog training tip in anything that you do. It sort of like plants the seed for what I want him to do right, because if he continued to get up, I open the door, we place him back, we feed him, we do it again, and it just keeps happening over and over again.
Right.
That's not really getting anywhere. What I want to
Yeah.
try and do is find a little happy medium where I can actually get a reward in, because now he was like, oh, the door opening, I get a reward. Maybe I don't need to get up. Okay, let's reward him again, because
Okay.
we've just been talking, and
Yes,
he
good
could be doing his own
boy.
thing, but he's choosing not to.
Yes. Good
Okay, I'm going to try
boy.
opening all the way this time.
Okay.
Sit. Good. Sit.
Sit.
Yep.
Good sit.
So sit, place him. Good.
Okay.
Be a little quicker. Good. Now just wait. Good.
Right.
I'm going to close the door again.
Okay.
We'll try a halfway treat in a second, but I just want to see if we can go all the way. Sit.
Sit.
Good boy.
Good
Yes, a reward.
boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Now just pause for a second.
Okay.
Just hold your hand off of his nose. I want you just to wait. And if he chooses to look up, I want you to yes and reward him. Let's not ask him. Let's see if he chooses. Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Good.
And wait again. Yes.
Yes.
Now this time you're going to go
Yes.
from your
Good
bag
boy.
to your face to his face.
Okay.
So wait. Yes. Hand
Yes.
up. Good. And then reward. Make him pull his nose up to feet. Wait till he
Okay.
looks. Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
So that's another thing that I like to do. It's called involuntary or voluntary intention. So basically, I could ask him to look, but what I also like to do is kind of put him in the driver's seat a little bit and let him figure out if I offer this, I'm going to get a reward. So what does this have to do with walking? Well, we're setting the stage right now. We're basically saying connecting with me, listening with me, looking at me, holding a loose leash. All of this is going to lead to better walking when you step out the door.
Right.
If somebody is not able to get a sit and connection and all these things, our leash isn't tight, we're not forcing him. He's making all of these decisions. We're just, saying, yes, that's a good decision, or no, that's not.
Right.
But if we're not able to get this, it's going to be a complete gong show
Right.
when we step out the door. What we're going to do next is we're actually going to see if we can go in and out of the door. What I want to do is just change the criteria to not make it be that he has to stay at your left-hand side. All I want him to do is show you leash respect. So if he goes ahead of you and the leash is loose, that's okay. I want to get to the point where we can open the door. We can allow him to go out. We could call him and he will turn and come back in without the leash tightening.
Okay.
Because again, this is going to help with walking, but it's also going to help with the kid opening the door and
Sure.
all of that kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
But this also is, so if I was going to take my dog for a walk, there's basically 3 things that I would need to know that I could do before I was actually walking around a bunch of distractions. Number 1, does my dog understand the concept of leash respect? So when the leash is on, do they know not to pull, regardless of where they are? Number 2, do they have the ability to sit at my side on a loose leash with a distraction and make good choices? Check. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, do I have the ability to ask my dog to pay attention to me and ask my dog to leave something without having to bribe him with treats or use a leash?
Okay.
Those are the 3 things that I would need so that if I go on a walk and, my dog makes poor choices, which will happen because they're a dog in training, I now have tools that I can work through that so that I would get more success than less. So those are the things that I would kind of be focusing for. So the sit is the one I love to start with.
Yeah.
Now that we're going to add the leash respect part, this is the harder part.
Right.
Okay, because there's just more freedom.
Yes.
So what we're going to do now, I should say, if we go out to walk out the door, my guess is because he's curious about what's out there, he's probably going to pull. So if you feel any tension on the leash, you're not going to say anything. You're just going to add a couple pulses on the leash until he turns back to you. Once he turns back to you, praise him, encourage him to come back inside, and then I'll let you know when to actually food reward him.
Okay.
You shouldn't have to train your dog alone, and that's exactly why we've developed programs that you can take with us both in person and online. That way you'll never have to question anything else in your dog training. Now, if you're ready for support like that, you can join us and the thousands of dog owners that have made a commitment to have a well-behaved 4-legged family member. There we go. Okay, sit.
Okay. Sit.
Good, sit.
Good sit.
Good, sit. Reward.
Good sit. Oh,
Yes, good sit.
Good sit.
That's a good
Yes,
guy.
Good sit.
All right, now what we can do is release
Good.
him, and then I might
Yes.
even just automatically say Floyd with Bippy. See if you can do it even before the leash goes tight. So just tell him, okay, and then Floyd back up. Okay,
Okay, and walk?
yep,
Okay.
and Floyd.
Floyd.
Yeah!
Yes!
Yay! Oh, okay,
Yeah.
now if he pulls, a little pop, pop, pop. Good, you don't have to put him at your side. Just let him be for a second.
Okay.
Good.
Good boy.
Excellent. Okay, that
Yes.
was stupendous. I'm just going to make it a little harder on this time.
Okay.
What you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing, but try not to have your hand in your bait pouch. Just
Okay.
because he's a smart dude, you can keep it open if you
Open.
want.
Yeah.
But he was absolutely brilliant. So, okay,
Okay.
Floyd, yes, if he looks, back up and reward.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Floyd.
Floyd.
Floyd, pop, pop, pop.
Pop, pop, pop,
Yep,
pop.
a little firmer,
Pop,
a little
pop, pop.
firmer. Good.
Pop, pop.
Okay, I'm going to help you with your pops. Oh,
Okay.
he's just excited by the drone. So when I pop, I'm going to pop and release. Floyd. Floyd. Hey, hey. Ah, there we go. Come here. Sit. Hey, sit. Yes. So when you have a big, strong dog and you're doing a pop, it's sort of hard to not get a bit of a wiggle, but wait, sometimes I'll even use 2 hands, but it's going to be a pulse and release, a pulse. Yes. Reward. Good.
Yes, good boy.
I really like that responding to that
boy.
leash pressure. Good boy. Okay, let's go ahead and try that again.
Okay.
Hey. Yeah. Isn't it interesting how we got a little bit different response with the food Like we were advertising the food that time because the hand wasn't in the bait pouch. That's how freaking smart dogs are.
Right.
He's like, oh, she's going to feed me. The hand's lingering there. The food's not out. And he's like, nothing's in it for me.
Right.
So this is how we want to try and teach the dog. You do something for me and then I'll do something for you.
Okay.
Okay, just loose leash for a second.
Yeah.
Release him again. Call right away. You can even call right now.
Okay. Floyd.
Yes. Good. Good. So it's okay to make it no, that was wonderful.
Oh,
it was
okay.
perfect.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can make it easy by not like letting him go all the way out. Like if you're just a little bit distracted, call him then. So we're building on success. Okay. Hand out of the bait pouch.
Right.
Loosey goosey.
Yeah.
Release him and then call his name.
Okay. Floyd.
Yes. Good.
Boy.
Get a little
boy.
money in the bank here. Okay.
Yeah.
Now actually let him get outside this time before calling.
Pop, pop.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Floyd.
He's like, I am not stupid. I love it. That's a good guy. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go outside. Once you get outside, try to call his name and ask him to sit. I actually don't care if he's at your left. I just want him to sit wherever he is.
And I'll go outside with him.
Yeah, both of you are just going to go out to that
Okay.
side. Okay. Good. Floyd, sit.
Floyd, sit.
Yes. Good
boy.
Excellent.
Good boy. Yes.
Good. Now, see if you can get a little bit of attention from him. So say, look at me.
Look at me.
Yes, and reward.
Yes.
Beautiful, Brenda.
Yes.
Excellent. One more time. Look at me.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Okay. Now, if you find that you're saying it a couple times and you're like, he's not super connected. Now reward. Yes, he's offering.
Yeah.
What you could do is add like a bit of a touch on his face or something.
Okay.
But if you find that you're asking because we can't force a dog to look at us.
Right.
If you find that you're not getting the connection, then I would move inside and ask again with less distraction. But just ask one more time there.
Okay. Look at me.
Tap.
Look at me.
Yes.
Good boy.
Okay, and then come back inside again. So, okay. This way.
This way.
Yep, he can be anywhere. Now, if you feel tension, add those pops.
All right.
Pop, pop, pop.
Pop, pop.
Pop.
Yes.
Yes, good boy. Okay, don't feed right yet.
Right.
Good. Okay,
Good.
walk out, walk back in on a
Okay.
loose leash. Good. Hand out of the bait bag. Good. Okay, walk back in. Talk to him. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
There, reward. Good choices.
Yes.
Yes.
Good boy.
Good.
Yes.
Excellent, boy. Good. So I know this seems like little mini steps, but like you could like spend a 15-minute training session just doing a little bit of this.
Absolutely.
But I want to just tidy up a few things. He really is quite capable of making some excellent choices. I love that on the last one, second to last one, he pulled a little bit.
Yes.
You kind of popped, you came in. Your urge was to feed him. I stopped you. But why, when he didn't get a treat, that's what's going to make him go, why didn't I get a treat for that?
Right.
Then when you went back out and you came back in the second time, he offered to keep the leash loose because he didn't get rewarded the time before.
Oh, okay.
So what happens is if we are pulling the leash or we're correcting or whatever we're doing, we come back in and the dog gets the treat anyways, there's no need to change the behavior.
Right.
Because it's like if I go to work and I put my feet up all day and I do absolutely nothing, but I still get paid the same amount.
Right.
Why would I try harder? No, I wouldn't do that because I'm a go-getter and I'm sure you are too.
Right.
But that's sort of how the dogs work. So I
Sure.
want you to think overall in all of your training, make him work harder to get that reward.
Okay.
Because we have different ways that we can reinforce him. If I have to pop because he's pulled and I brought him back inside, I could praise him. I could touch him. I could be joyful. I could be emotional. I could be all of those things. That would be great to do. But because the food for a lot of dogs is like the ultimate, that's the thing I'll withhold.
Okay.
So if I can actually go out and in, I've got a loose leash, I have great connection from my dog, that's when I'm gonna pay off a little bit. And I think if you can separate your criteria a little bit more, you're gonna see him make more deliberate choices to be successful. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
Hey, buddy, that was so good. So now you know the secret and you're starting to get some wins. What should you do next? You need to watch this video right here. On that note, I'm Kayl. Happy training.